Howdy. Welcome to this week's episode of Vikings, Outlaws, and Cowboys. I'm your host, Viko, the bearded one. I'll always, of course, be joined by the Jarl, his bouginess. On today's episode, we are going to be covering sagas. We're going to conduct a recap of the origins of the saga for each of us, what the character arc was supposed to look like or might look like from our perspectives, and our biggest peak so far for each of us on our character arc. We'll be covering upcoming meetups and utilizing these podcasts as a layout for yourself for any meetups you want to do with your friends. We'll be covering unpopular opinions, starting off with the Jarl, covered by Viko, and then moving into a new segment that will be here for a long time because we're nerds, and that is going to be paranormal versus conspiracy. Today we'll be talking about Bigfoot, as well as the most recent paranormal conspiracy theory we have seen out there. Stay tuned and enjoy. Howdy. Welcome to this week's episode of Vikings, Outlaws, and Cowboys. I'm your host, Viko the Bearded One. You can call me JT for short. I'm joined by Alex, the Jarl Martinez.
Howdy, everybody. Golly, you just put it all out there like that.
Yeah.
Get my address out.
I mean, it is what it is. Everybody knows I'm JT Robertson. You can find me on all the socials because I'm a hoe.
All of them.
On all of them.
You're such hoe.
I'm a social hoe for sure. At least I admit my flaws. We started off last week talking about our sagas, but before we get into the sagas and where we're at in the recap of those things, I think it would behoove us, if you will, to talk about January and how you don't have any fucking gin.
It was an accident. I drank it all. See, what had happened is me and the wife decided that we were going to play pool, and it's January, and I went looking for the gin to go make me a cocktail, and we drank it all.
So what are you drinking today then?
Oh, man, I have the Magnum tin cup.
Wow. Either that or you got small hands. One of the two.
Dude, I don't have Trump hands. They're like regular size hands.
Okay.
But yeah, I got the Magnum, you know? Got to buy the expensive ones.
Well, I was like all game for this. So I made a fucking G&T, but I made an epic G&T because if you're in Montana, why wouldn't you fucking have some huckleberries? So I made a huckleberry gin and tonic, and it is fucking delicious. This is probably that much fucking gin.
That's the best. That's what I was planning on doing. I was going to come down here in like a bladder buster, like 7-Eleven cup, full of gin and tonic.
Dude, that would be dope.
That's what we used to do in Okie. We needed an adult beverage, so we found us a bladder buster full of G&T.
Yeah, absolutely. In Okinawa, I loved a lot of things there. I did not like the drinking because I had habusaki, and that was a very, very terrible point in my life for taste buds. My taste pals were fucking ruined for a while.
Oh yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it really quick too.
And if you've never had a habusaki, they basically take an entire habu viper and they stick it inside of a jar.
Well, no,
while it's dead.
First, it goes to the fermentation factory. I visited that.
Oh, God.
Okay. Oh, yeah. No, it's just a bunch of snakes in vats of sake, right?
That's fucking gross.
And then, depending on the jar, is the size of the snake that they take out and throw it in the small, big jar, big snake, small jar, small snake,
Okay.
So
do you know the process? I would love to hear the process. I'd love everybody to hear about the terrible
I was
process.
mostly not sober when I went, but from what I can remember is they start the fermentation process and then throw the snakes in, and
they're dead though.
They're dead. They're dead. Yeah, we don't need PETA on the backs of the Okinawans. And then what they do is it's like the poison leaches out into the sake. or something along those lines. And it's a beginning of the night drink, because if you've been drinking all night and take a shot of that,
don't do it.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
I think it's a beginning of the night drink as well, because I think you need to drink it before you eat, because the smell of it is just fucking horrid.
Oh, it's rancid because
so
there's a fucking dead
gross.
snake in the bottle.
Yeah. Anyway,
all coiled up, fucking staring at you.
just like,
Yeah,
like
I remember I had a
slithering.
buddy who lit the bar on fire on accident
Oh,
when we were there. Because he got one of the, I don't remember what it was. It was a shot of, like, we were taking Habu and somebody lit his on fire. He tried to blow it out, instead of doing the old, hand
Yeah.
over it.
Yeah.
And the bartender just walked into the back. Like those tiny little, like, hole in the wall bars.
Yeah, on
And
Gate 2 Street.
Yeah, it was like a gate too. And yeah, dude, the Habusaki like spilled out, hit the bar, and just went. Whew. It was like one of those, do we fight the fire moments, or do we just let this motherfucker burn? And
I mean, 100% you didn't start the fire.
well, I didn't, but I fought the fire. I fought the fire.
But it was always burning. Since
oh, yeah. It never stops burning. Yeah. A terrible song. I can't believe you did that to everybody.
Fucking great song. All right, guys. So go.
Jack and Coke will put out a Habusaki fire, though, just in case everybody's wondering. If you get in a situation where the Habusaki's on fire, Jack and Coke will put it out.
That's so terrible, because it's just mixing two terribles at once. I mean,
it's so bad.
Oh God.
Anyway, all right. That bar never tasted the same.
No. Let's do a recap real quick. So last week we talked about our origin stories and our points. So it's really important that we emphasize kind of throughout all of this, the purpose of what we're doing. So we're not always going to be deep dive on men's mental health. I feel like it's really important for men to understand how we cope with our weekly stresses and our life stresses, right? We don't always just vent to each other. I mean, eventually, if you start venting all the time and you just go down that path, I feel like you're just bitching, right?
Just like a soggy noodle.
Yeah, dude. Like we don't do that all the time. Well, we're going to lay out a format. You don't have to copy ours. It's not right. It's not wrong. It's how we handle things.
It's how we figured it out.
Yeah, it's how we figured it out. It's how we cope. It's how we work together. So we talked about the origin stories, where we started our arc. So in every saga, every superhero film, every film ever written, every Edda or poetry, epic poem, like the Odyssey and the Iliad and those things, all of the stories throughout time, there is, I'm a hit rock. I'm at the bottom. I win a little bit, and then I'm back at the fucking bottom, and then I keep winning, and then eventually you hit the point when you know that you're gonna be okay.
Like the crescendo? Is it the crescendo?
I don't know, because I feel like
that's the peak, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, like, we could talk. That's actually perfect. Character arc, right? So my question to you, my dear friend, is when did you realize? What point in time? What was your memory, your moment, that you realized that you made it safely to the point where you could be a contributing member to society outside of the military?
I'm waiting. I'm still waiting for that moment.
The fuck you are, bro.
I'm still waiting for that moment.
Nah.
Yeah, so I mean, I pay taxes, right? As a contributing member of society, right? That was the first time. Maybe after I bought a house. Okay. Maybe that was the first time, and it was like a shit your pants moment too, because it was like 2012, and like the world was about to end, right? Because we bought it right before Christmas.
Calendar.
Yeah, I was like, well, this is never going to happen. And then they decided that they were going to let us buy a house. The bank even said yes. So we were shitting our pants. But I think it was at that point where we're like, oh, damn, we're adults now.
That's interesting. So I would say my crescendo of like, okay, I'm not fucking looking back, right? was when I just had this year with the company I work for, and it was just a tumultuous year. It was just straight battling day in and day out. They sent me to London for 6 months for work. The project I was on failed like a fiery car crash. Like somebody crashed a car, then dropped a nuke on the car, and they're like, "Oh, we're not done." And then they dropped some more nukes on this
Oh,
project. It was horrible. I think you remember, right?
I do. I do. It was yeah, it was fun to hear.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was
Just
great
the
adventures along the way.
yeah. Well, at least you got to hang out in like
Cool
London
place
and
in
yeah,
Scotland and
Scotland, and you got some sightseeing, some traveling.
yeah. So I think I realized that I'd made it and I'd hit the culmination because at the time I had just barely bought my house, and they were like, "Hey, you're going to London." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool. How long am I gonna go?" Well, we don't know.
Forever.
Okay, cool. Get to London. We're doing really, really well. Some things went sideways in the project, and we weren't able to deliver what was promised at the end of the day because it was just not deliverable. It is sometimes that happens, and you just, especially in technology, like sometimes things are promised and technology changes so fast you just can't keep up. So it was fine. Then I came home and I was just like, man, that was a rough 6 months. Like that was really brutal. And when I came home, my boss had my back. And so, granted, I'm kind of blessed in that aspect of my boss just always having my back, but it wasn't because I'm special. It was because I'm just too dumb to fail. Like I just kept working.
Yeah, but at this point, you didn't know that you were too dumb to fail.
No, no, no. Yeah, I was just like,
We
I'm
hadn't
not,
coined the term yet.
yeah, definitely not. Like, I was just working really, really hard. And, I had this imposter syndrome that happened where you're like, is this fucking real? I have a house and now I'm good. And then I bought Scarlet, my truck. My very first brand new vehicle, bought a 1-ton diesel. And I bought her. So I went in a test drive. You and I had been talking about vehicles for a while, and um, you were waiting for the brand new Chevy that was about to come out. And I was like, fuck that, I'm not waiting. And you sent me a link to a local dealership in Salt Lake. And I went and I test drove like this truck. And it was like this kind of blue GMC. And I was like, that's pretty cool. But I want to go, like, I don't want a Denali because I'm not bougie. I just want I want a lot of the perks that go with it because I can afford it at the time. And then I found Scarlett and she had 5 miles on her. And I put 25 miles on her on my test drive because in Salt Lake, if you can't cruise up Harley's Canyon at 80 miles an hour without a problem, then why are you even doing your life, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to take the Honda back.
Yeah, you definitely, right? So then I bought the truck, not really knowing or like feeling good about where I was at for work, and it just kept working. And my boss was like, "Hey, by the way,
So
you
yours was more like you felt like it when you finally had the financial stability.
yeah, exactly."
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Mine was just an oh shit moment, like, oh fuck, we tricked them. We won. Like we
That's
tricked the bank. They're not repoing this one, you
it's
know.
fun. Yeah,
But I don't know if it was just like financial stability. It was just like, holy shit,
well
no more
maybe
living in the basement.
well maybe yours was more along the lines of just stability for your home life, right? Like you had a Zen place that was your Zen.
Yeah, I think it was more about like getting your freedom back, or as Ricky Bobby would say, getting your balls back.
Ah, fucking right, dude.
Going from from hero to zero, and then, you know, working your way back up to, you're not hero status, but you got your freedom back. Here you go, bud. You know.
Yeah, I think that's actually probably similar to mine, right? When you go from being a hero to a zero, and then you have to battle through those downs, because that's actually when the hardest time is for anybody in their own saga, right? When the stories are written about me or you, or maybe they're never written, right? When our kids tell their kids about us as like, your grandpa was, you know, such an asshole.
Well,
Like
now there's
he
a
could,
stupid internet record of it too, right?
fuck man, for real. So, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's not even financial. It's just stability, because we were both in the military, and many people on here are in the military, and many people that are listening also are kind of in that in between space where they don't have that zen. Maybe
Well,
that's
and
it.
I would think that it's like probably a vast majority of people that when they get out, especially if they, yeah, I mean, whether they've done 4 years or they've done even more, it's
Mhm.
probably even harder when you've done, multiple pumps, multiple contracts, stuff like that, and you decide to get out. Even if you're a 20-year guy, there's probably a large majority that are like, oh, fuck,
Oh yeah, for sure.
because the military has been mommy and daddy for so long. And yeah, you get to go do cool shit and you have your freedom and everything. But I don't feel like I became a grown up until I came back. And I'm pretty sure that's when I started getting gray hair. It wasn't like overdoing dumb shit.
Yeah.
It was coming back and like having to pay bills and having nothing to fall back on.
Dude, 100% would rather be shot at and blown up. Not really blown up, at least shot at. We'll say shot at.
Dude,
100% would rather be shot at than have be on the hook for hundreds of thousands of dollars for a brick and mortar place that in 30 years, when I'm 70, I'll be able to say that's mine.
yeah. No, it's more stressful.
Mm-hmm.
I think just being back here, I mean, and America's awesome. Like you go somewhere else and it's not nearly as cool. I know people hate on it, but it's awesome. But you're still like, oh shit. Like there's nobody to help me out. There's nobody that's got my back now. If I
Right.
fuck this up, Uncle Sam ain't coming to help.
That's the thing, I think, and to add on to that, right? So like, you know, in a way, going to as many third world countries as I'd been in, I feel like no matter what anybody ever says to me about America, I'm like, bitch, please. Do you even fucking know?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
we're in the place, and this is probably my unpopular opinion, but I'll get to it a little bit, right? Um, you always have the ability to change your life, and it just takes work and an investment in yourself, and that's kind of a thing. So I'll hold off and I'll put a pin in that for my unpopular opinion.
For your unpopular opinion.
Oh man, I can't wait. I'm gonna get so much fucking flack for that. I cannot wait.
I
And
mean, it's
if you're
true
gonna,
though. I mean, look how many people, came from nothing and now
yeah,
they're freaking insane, you know, millionaires, billionaires, just people that are doing it just
yeah,
because they decided they were going to work.
absolutely, absolutely. So, um, let's see here. We do have some other things too. So obviously we're doing this as a men's mental health, but that doesn't mean that we're not reaching out to everybody. That you can follow the kind of same format. If you're a gal or anything in between, you're more than welcome just to follow the format to hang out with your friends. Like if you have friends in, you know, uh, South Carolina and you are in Idaho, just do one of these things. Just
Oh
jump
yeah.
on a call. Like it's free technology. Like Zoom has tons of opportunities for you guys. Talk to your friends and make it fun.
Oh
Don't
yeah.
just bitch. Don't
Well,
bitch.
even the fucking phones now, it's like you got FaceTime, stuff like that too.
Yeah.
I mean, talking to somebody on the phone's cool, but FaceTime and, like this type of stuff is always funnier because then you get to see the reactions to the dumb shit.
Also, it makes you fucking listen.
Yes, we found out that it makes you listen for sure.
Yeah. You're not just waiting to cut somebody off. You're actually focused and listening, which makes it feel like I think it's more endearing, right?
Yeah, you're not
Um,
just worried about cutting Linda off because she's fucking on some kind of crazy shit.
yeah.
Like
So
it's a work call.
so utilize this as a meetup. And by the way, if you want to use the phrase meetup, just tag us in it. And just so you know, we coined the phrase. We want to hold on to the phrase, but we want you guys to use it. Just tag us. We want to see your meetups. Like
Give
show
us the
us
hashtag.
the tags of hash or hash brown, as I say, because hash browns are way cooler than hashtags.
Hmm.
Legit. Do you want to talk about the meetup that's coming up on Saturday?
I think we should.
Well,
I
why don't
think
you go
it,
ahead and do? Well,
I
you
think
run it.
it's importante.
Yeah. So where are we meeting?
So Big Willie's, 17
Located.
South, Main Street, Salt Lake
Okay.
City.
Parking shit.
Parking is shit, but OG is also owned by the same gentleman, and you can park across the street just to the east or just to the west, and there's tons of parking over there.
Yeah. So don't worry about anywhere about your vehicle getting towed for the most part. Obviously, if you drink too much and you decide you want to drive, that's not what we're recommending. We're
Just
not
leave
trying
it
to
there.
Yeah, just fucking take an Uber.
Just leave it there. We'll talk to Jeremy about firing up the Willy Mobily and getting people home.
Yeah, do something great. So and just so everybody knows, we're not licensed to sell alcohol in Utah. So there will not be any mead at the meetup, but that's not the purpose of it. It's not pushing our alcohol brand. It's getting together and talking and having a good time and interacting and building community. That's the purpose of the meetup.
Yeah, if you don't drink, that's fine. You can still come hang out.
Yeah, have a Coke.
Chill out. Yeah.
I think they have like orange juice and everything else if you're not.
Oh yeah, they got like a full-on restaurant and everything too. So
yeah.
Get some good food, hang out, come meet us, and we'll have a grand old time.
Then
7
we've
o'clock.
got 7 o'clock. 1900 if you are
Oh.
still committed.
Yeah.
Mentally committed.
Commitments are strong.
Solid. Then we've got the meetup coming up in February.
Oh yeah, February.
We're gonna be in Dallas, Texas, doing Dallas, Texas things.
Yeah. We don't have the locations locked down yet.
No,
but it probably involves a honky tonk and live music.
Definitely gonna involve both of those things. And special treat. If you are in San Antonio, we're making a trip. Alex and I are. The Jarl and Viko are making a trip. We are going, and you're a veteran. Let us know. Reach out to us because we're going to work with Heroes Sports and go do a hog hunt.
Like hunting for fat chicks?
No.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay.
No. Boat's not coming with us.
Oh, that's right. So you're talking about actual wild feral hogs.
Yeah. Right. And NVGs.
NVGs. Sounds expensive.
Well, actually, so if you are a veteran, I recommend that you reach out and you follow the organizations that we are calling out on here. So such as Racing for Tomorrow, we'll talk about them a little bit maybe. We've talked about them a lot. So if you're in the Utah area and you want to get behind a wheel and you want to help battle your PTSD, reach out to them directly on the socials and they'll take you for a ride.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you did. And like, it's one of those, you get your PTSD off it by worrying about something else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, worrying about like smashing into the wall or something.
Yeah, or eating glass. I mean, whatever.
It totally gets that away. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
And then
drive fast, take chances.
Sure, I'll go with that. Also, we're advocates for the Irreverent Warriors. Make sure that you get on. Like it doesn't matter the state you're in. Just log in and find the local IW in your area. It's usually IW, whatever cities in the area. You can always just look up Irreverent Warriors on the Facebooks and all the socials, and they'll direct you. They're a great group to get together with other vets. And
always make sure that your silkies are one size too small. It just makes the hike better.
It does. Yep. And if you if you're a lady and you don't just stuff a potato for fun, are you even wearing silkies?
And stretch often.
Yeah, and mostly definitely that. Mike Barker is one of the founders there, as well as Vincent Vargas. I know both of them very well. Played softball with Vince Vargas. So they put together activities, whether it's hunting or softball or bowling or shit. Even if you want to play cornhole, they have activities where you can meet up with other veterans.
Hey, that's like a national sport, man. I don't like your tone talking about cornhole.
Man, I follow Jim Rhodes' words, bro. If I can get drunk and do it better, then it's not a sport.
I disagree. Bowling, cornhole, pool.
Not sports.
Golf.
Skills. No.
Golf.
No. I
Golf.
can't.
What?
No.
Are you saying
No.
golf is not a sport?
No, I'm saying you can't do golf better drunk.
I think I can, and John Daly can. I mean, I'm not comparing myself to John Daly, but I mean, I don't do worse when I'm drunk. Is what I'm saying.
Well, it's because you stopped keeping score.
No.
Yes. I've golfed with you drunk.
Not if I take Sam.
Well, that's different.
He's a stroke Nazi.
Yeah, I'm not taking your son golfing with me because I don't want to know.
I'm going to bring him the next time.
Okay,
fair enough. I'm going to put him in the cart with you, and he's just going to talk the whole time.
Oh, man.
Because that's what he does.
He's the Sabretooth, bro. Sammy the Sabretooth. We also have Autorama coming up in March.
Yeah. What it is.
It is.
We should have like shirts and hats and hoodies and all kinds of fun stuff at Autorama.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time.
I hear there's going to be drinkware too.
There's going to be drinkware.
Dun.
You guys
what will it look like?
It's going to probably look super dope. It's going to look probably that
Will it look like that?
Oh, man. Selfless plug. I love it.
Oh,
it's actually going to also, there's a new drinkware coming out that nobody knows about except for me and one other person.
Is it the bird?
No.
The bird doesn't know about it?
No. But it's pretty dope, though. I'm stoked about it. All right, cool. So let's go to unpopular opinions. I want to start off with your unpopular opinion.
Oh, man. My unpopular opinion?
Yeah.
No. My unpopular opinion is probably going to get us banned.
Okay, non-political unpopular opinion.
It's not even political.
What?
Yeah.
Here's my unpopular opinion.
I want to hear yours. Yeah.
I'll start off.
I gotta hear something to follow.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm just gonna fuck shit up.
That's fucking awesome. All right, my unpopular opinion is that college should be free.
What?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
No. I'm saying I don't believe that college should be free.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you're right.
No.
That is yeah. Fuck
no,
you.
no. Like there's a huge part of the world that thinks that college should be free. Here's the thing, from my perspective. Okay. If you're not willing to invest into yourself, you're never going to amount to anything. And I mean that in any aspect. And it doesn't matter if it's college, if it's a trade school, if it's just studying and learning shit on your own like I did with Mead. Here's the thing. If you want me to follow you, you're not a born leader. You got to learn to lead. You got to fail. You have to have some skin in the game. So if you go to school and you're just going to school because it's a way for you to get your political science degree so you can go be a manager at a cookie factory, like that's not really investing in yourself, right? Like just because it requires a bachelor's degree. You need to invest in yourself in a way, and you need to be on the hook where you have a skin in the game. Does that make sense? So that it matters.
It does, but at the same time, it's really hard for me to like support any higher learning right at this point, just because it's so political. Like these big universities and stuff like that, it's like, are they actually teaching the curriculum? Are people coming out smarter, or are they just getting this agenda rammed down their throat?
Maybe that's your unpopular opinion, right? College is just full of that, right?
I mean, it really is. From everything that I've seen, read, heard, watched on TV, and I don't really take my opinions very much from the TV or the news, but it just seems like there's a whole lot of grandstanding and unshaping minds. What do they call it now? They made a class called critical thinking, which is basically just it shouldn't even be a class, because it's basically a class on how to use common sense, right?
Well, so common sense is not a common virtue, though.
Oh, God, apparently not. It's rough. It's rough. Okay, so that's definitely an unpopular opinion for me.
Okay.
Go to trade school. Get your hands dirty.
Well, yeah.
Like
I mean,
be everything that we're not.
here's probably more along the lines, right? Just invest in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not my responsibility to take care of you. It's your responsibility to take care of yourself. That's the character arc we just talked about.
Yeah, I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay your bills.
Man, no, I don't want to even pay my own fucking bills.
Oh, here's an unpopular opinion. Fuck everybody that we're fucking giving money to.
Oh, overseas? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck them all.
Everybody.
No,
Fuck them all the way
fuck
off.
all of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no
Ukraine,
reason.
suck it. I
Yeah.
don't care.
Pakistan,
That's your bad.
Pakistan and $87 billion for gender studies. I don't fucking care, bro.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You have to fight your own fucking war.
$3 billion to study elephant semen. Kiss my ass.
No, fuck you.
Fuck you, Cambodia.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, I literally
Yeah.
do not care.
Spend
And
your
also,
own money.
Yeah. Now, if you guys can't figure it out, then maybe you don't. That's not investing in yourselves, man.
Dude, I saw a fucking money trail that was laid out, and it looked like it was pretty legit, right? I was reading.
Mhm.
And it was talking about all the billions of dollars that we gave away, specifically to Ukraine, how it went there, how it got wrapped up into the Bitcoin bullshit that just went out of business, and that money got laundered back to a bunch of politicians. And I'm like, no shit. Well, fuck, didn't we already know that's what was going on?
And
So that's my unpopular opinion. Fuck all of you guys. I'm tired of fucking tax dollars and Social Security going to you guys. Eat a dick.
I mean,
that's my unpopular opinion.
Yeah, fuck them all. Like, just put it back in America. Just put it in. Have an idea. Put it into the education system so more teachers can be around for kids.
That would be awesome. Pay teachers as much as doctors.
Fucking what? That's crazy talk.
$40 billion. I bet you we could afford to pay teachers as much as doctors.
Maybe a little bit.
That'd be good. That'd be awesome. Maybe they wouldn't have to pay for their classroom supplies out of their own pocket. I think that'd be good.
I agree.
I think that's bullshit. Teachers shouldn't have to pay for anything out of pocket.
Yeah, fuck
to make learning better for their kids.
Yeah, they barely make fucking pennies as it is.
Yeah, it's horseshit.
Yeah, I'm fucking all in on that. Just take care of us.
Yeah, let's take care of number one.
Yeah, don't. And I don't even care what side of the aisle you are for voting or whatnot. No, man, like literally, the future of us as a country depends on our children. Let's take care of them.
Make them smart.
Let's just fucking get
geniuses.
I don't care about anything else. I do not care about anything else. If you educate somebody, they make better choices in life. If they make better choices in life, then society benefits as a whole. I don't really care. And that sounds socialist, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Maybe it's utopian.
It's nationalist. You're a nationalist. But look at Japan. They're still more or less isolationist, when it comes to owning land and everything else around them. They don't take money from nobody. They give us a shit ton of money. Mm-hmm. I think we trade quite a bit back and forth, but and I'm not an economist or anything like that, but we live way out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Tell me more.
So we should just stay that way.
I agree.
I know that there's lots of people that said, oh, it could never be like that after World War II because we went in and opened up a can of whoop ass. Again. But I think we should just hang out on our nice little island.
Maybe if we were able to do, invest into, I don't know, our own people, we'd actually be able to find Bigfoot.
I don't know. I think if they wanted you to find Bigfoot, then Bigfoot would have been found.
Okay. So this is actually the Jarl and my key conversations when we're around each other.
Campfire stories.
And if you're following us to learn how to be mentally sound as a man, understand this, right? We're not fucking mentally sound.
No.
But what we do have is we have a camaraderie where we can talk about anything. And a huge part of this now is going to be us bringing to light the shit we talk about on a daily, weekly basis.
Regular basis. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask a question to you, and this is going to be pretty direct.
All
Okay.
right.
Do you believe in the paranormal?
Oh, dude, 100%. It's out there.
Okay.
It'll fucking get you.
Okay. So pause real quick. I'm going to put a pin in that for a second.
Okay.
What is your favorite paranormal belief? What is your go-to that you think exists 100% every time you'll battle somebody? You'll go to the gladiator pit in the Colosseum and you'll fucking stab a lion over this belief. What is it?
Oh, man. I got a lot, dude.
No, I want your top. I want your
there's
number one.
number
We got
one.
plenty of time. This is going to be a standing segment.
The easy one, like the low-hanging fruit,
Okay,
is definitely Bigfoot. That shit's out there.
that's fair. I am
It's
on.
it's out there, but then I could go down the list.
No, we're gonna start with Bigfoot because
All right.
that's my number
So
one.
I got to take a pin and put a pin in the rest. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, we can't. We don't have enough time. Like people will get bored and not ever listen to us again.
That makes sense. We'll
Yeah.
break up the paranormal.
But
Is this
for
going
the
to be the
remainder-
new? Is this going to be the new segment?
This is going to be the
paranormal.
The paranormal is going to be a standing segment.
Standing segment. The
A
paranormal.
standing. It's never going away.
All right.
Okay. All right. Mine is Bigfoot as well. As you can see behind me, I have Bigfoot there. I've got Bigfoot there. He is the world champion at hide and seek. Hands down.
He is. Oh, he definitely does good.
Yeah. What's top of your mind? Your most valid Bigfoot experience. The thing that actually happened to you.
All right. So, Bridgeport, California, Pickle Valley.
Okay.
Valley.
If you don't know Bridgeport, California, that shit is fucking creepy, and also.
And you've never trained, you fucking weak ass bitch.
Cold weather training is bullshit. Okay.
I did the winter and summer package. I didn't have to do it all because I was a COS driver, so that was fucking cool. I got the highlights right.
Never ever in my entire life have I ever snuggled another man so tightly.
Oh, so tightly. Never let go. Nope. Never fucking let go.
Never been so cold.
So, what had happened was we drove the CO and the sergeant major, blasted up to Bridgeport, and then we went out. I went out with the junior Marines to train and do I think it was river fording, river crossing, that jazz. And it was in like no. It was like June, so it was like raging rapids, and we're trying
the water is still frigid though, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's not warm. It's Sierra Nevadas, dude. And it's like snow melt, like freeze your balls off, right? And you're fording a river, so you're not getting wet. So, I put my pack and all my shit down, and the radio, and trying to help Marines live after getting them across the river, because some are smarter than others. And we get a call on the radio, and said, "Hey, Martinez, you gotta go. CO's ready to get out of here." Like, damn, dude. Shit was just getting fun, Somebody was just about to drown. It was gonna be a good time. So we're about 3 miles away from base camp. So I jump, grab all my shit, start walking down, and walking down the dirt road. It's probably like 6 o'clock, So they're still going at it. 1800 for those of you that are hardcore. And so it's not like the suns are not really, blasting you. You're in the middle of Sierra Nevada, the sun's starting to set. Or starting to go down at least. So we're not getting that full like sun, right?
Right.
And so I'm like, all right, whatever. I've been out in the woods. Like this shit doesn't bother me. So I'm walking down the dirt road, just kind of bebopping, trying to get back so I can get the CO's car ready and everything. And I start hearing shit crack in the woods. I'm like, what the fuck?
Was the window
and
on?
then No, dude, it was nothing. It was nothing. It was like a perfect day in Pickle Valley, and the road kind of winds away from the river a little bit. And I have some buddies that were stationed at Bridgeport. They're gonna fucking laugh at me about this because I've talked to him about it. He's like, "No, you're full of shit." I was like, "You're covering shit up, you fucker. I know you are. You signed an NDA." So Drees, if you're listening, fuck you. So I start hearing shit cracking, and then you get that feeling like you're being watched and shit.
Right.
And I had just a pistol. I didn't have my M4. I just had
rounds?
Oh yeah, dude, I had rounds. I always had rounds, especially when we were in the woods. See, I was driving.
Fair enough.
Even in America. But so yeah, I just had the M9. So I'm doing a faster diddy bop now, right? Because things are cracking and stuff, and it's like it's going down the road with me. So at this point, I'm like, fuck this. Like they say, like, okay, if you're being stalked by a predator, don't run. Well, at this point, I'm like, fuck it, because if I start running and it pops out, at least I know what I'm shooting at. So I start kind of picking up the pace a little bit, doing a little bit more than double time with the pack and everything on, and it just starts feeling fucking creepy, dude. Just that weird hair on the back of your neck. Things start feeling creepy, and like the sounds are just keeping up with me as I'm going down. And it's like everything's just out of sight where you can't see anything. And as soon as I get down, I probably ran 1.5 miles, 2 miles back.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally get back, and everybody's like, "Well, why the fuck are you sweating, dude?" I'm like, "Dude, I just ran like 2 miles with all this bullshit on. Why?" And at that point, you can't tell them why, right? You can't be like, because I'm pretty sure Squatch was following me. Like, you can't just fucking say that, right?
Yeah, Harry and the Hendersons is here, but I'm not fucking.
Yeah, I don't have the
I'm not
station
there.
wagon, and he's not moving in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's probably the sketchiest, like, Sasquatch story. Because, dude, I knew it was Squatch. Like, you just have that feeling, like,
Yeah.
it's like big, heavy footsteps. And when you can hear it over you breathing, running with all that junk on, which you never fucking run with all that junk on.
Fuck no, man. He never
And
ever run.
like for a grown ass man to be that fucking scared when I got fucking a 12 stack of fucking 9mm on my hip, I was like, no, I ain't fucking doing it. That's big. It was not a fucking mountain lion.
No. Are you, okay, so are you ready for mine?
Mm-hmm.
Because mine's pretty fucking. Mine's. I feel like it was real. Like yours, you feel like it's real, but you've been to where I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, no, I've been there. Yeah.
Okay, so if you're from Utah, I was Al and I were up elk hunting around Current Creek Reservoir with Doc. We just always had a hunting party for like 3 or 4 years where we'd go up and we'd go hunting, and I would go hunting the entire time. Al would come up on, the Jarl would come up on the weekends and.
Hey, how many animals did you kill?
Same amount as you, 0.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
It doesn't matter though. Well,
Status quo.
I'm not throwing jabs. I'm throwing right hooks.
Okay, shut up. Tell your story.
So we cruise down this way. This beaten trail, barely beaten trail. We're in our side by sides, and we go all the way to the back of this area. And there's this like fucking like abandoned cabin with no windows, and you look at it and you feel like Blair Witch is fucking happening there.
Oh,
like
100%.
It was super fucking eerie. Like you go up to the cabin and you look inside, and it was like there was somebody that was recently cooking in there, but then there's
and it was like kind of leaning too.
Yeah, there's nobody around, and you're like, why is the stove still warm? Like right now, kind of feel. And you're like, okay, well, this is not really a great place, but fucking elk are dumb and they hang out in scary fucking places. So whatever, right? Not a big deal. Like when I go elk hunting and I see elk, they're usually on a cliff face, and you're never going to get to them because they're on a fucking cliff face. Why are they on a cliff face? Because they know you're not going to fucking walk up the cliff face. And by cliff face, I'm not really saying cliff face. They're not mountain goats, but it's like really steep fucking dumb terrain, and there's always like perils around.
Oh yeah, if you've hunted in the Rockies, you know.
Yeah. So Doc and me hop out of the side by side, and I'm like, hey, let's just walk down this ravine. Not a big deal. We're walking away from the cabin. Less creepy. So I get to this area. Ryan fucking moves off, and he's hanging out on his side of the ravine. It's not even like a ravine. It's like a little kind of baby valley.
And so everybody knows, Doc is technologically retarded. He cannot use a radio.
To save his fucking life.
No.
I love him so much, but no.
No.
So we're doing like buddy checks with this radio that reaches 2 miles. Okay? Totally fine. Radio reaches 2 miles. Not a big deal. Doing radio checks. Blah, blah, blah. Walking down the road. Or not down the road, but down on each side of this like little valley. It's not even really a valley. There's a little stream running in, probably like a little 2 or 3% grade, not a big deal. Well, I push in because I can fucking hear something cracking in the woods. And I'm like, well, I know for a fact that there's elk here because they were fucking bugling earlier. I'm in. Let's go. Right? So we push in. I push into the woods, and I come into this area where you have all these pine trees and all these aspens, and they're all integrated, which is like super elky.
Oh yeah.
Super fucking elky.
Super elky, yeah.
Deadfall everywhere. Cool, not a big deal. But there's this area that's completely wiped out by a fucking like avalanche or a mudslide. Here's the weird part. So in a mudslide or avalanche, all the fucking trees really, for the most part, push one way, right? They all come down one way. And you'll have them sticking out of the ground, kind of going the other way. But they don't stick up very high usually. So I'm in this area. I'm like, whatever, dude. Just going to hang out in this clearing for a minute, just like outside, waiting for elk. Wait for like an hour. Like, fuck it. Nobody's coming. Like, I'm going to move around. I heard elk moving or heard something moving, cracking down the way. And I hear fucking tree wax, like crack, crack. I'm like, oh, cool. That somebody's fucking walking through the woods, busting their antlers. Not a big deal.
Fingers crossed.
I walk down the way, and I get to this area where there are full-grown trees, these aspens, that are picked up, and they're still planted in the ground on one side, and then pushed into the ground, like something actually physically forced them in the ground on the top. And there's like 5 or 6 of these stacked on top of each other. And I'm like, okay. So now I'm like, there's these fucking tree structures. And I'm like, okay. Then I start looking at the path that I just came down. And there's literally trees that are broken off inside and surrounded by other trees that halfway down with a lean on them.
Don't you remember when we were driving down that road, the ones that were like bent over like 7 feet up?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm like, oh, fuck. Well, then all of a sudden I start hearing fucking more tree knocks. And I'm like, ah, man, this is not an elk.
Ah, damn it.
And I'm like, I'm walking down the way to try to fucking skirt this area because I'm still hunting, right? But now I'm like hunting. I've got the 45 on the hip. I've got the .6. I'm like, now I'm hunting, but I'm like at the low ready.
But you're being hunted at the same time.
Yeah, I'm like being stalked there watching. And all of a sudden, dude, I swear to God.
You're in condition 2. You're in condition 2.
Or not trees, rocks are getting thrown at me. And I'm like, nope, I'm fucking out. So my options are to go the back the fucking way that I came. I could cut straight through the clearing, or I could go down below. So I cut straight through the clearing because I'm like, if you're fucking watching me and you're throwing rocks at me, I'm going straight through this fucking clearing. Because I'm like, no, cool. But the problem is I get through this clearing, and on the other side, there is nothing but these tree structures everywhere. Dude, they're fucking everywhere. So I literally am now in condition 1. I have my finger straight and ready off the trigger. I'm just walking ready to fucking shoot.
Just ready to fucking just let it loose.
So here's the thing, right? I literally say, hey, listen. I completely break every part of me. And I've been hunting my entire life. And I've been in combat. I've seen stupid, scary shit that bugs the fuck out of me. But I've been hunting the whole time, my entire life. So I move through, and I literally say, hey, I'm just trying to get away from you. I'm sorry to disturb you. And as soon as I said that, dude, tree knock stopped. Rocks stopped getting thrown at me. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'm fucking crazy. Fine, whatever. Well, I get to this clearing and I all of a sudden like feel epically tired. Like I had just finished a marathon tired.
A what?
A marathon.
A
I
what?
exactly. Like I had just barely I had popped all of the sleeping pills and it just hit now.
Oh,
So
night
I'm
night.
like, fuck. So I sit against this tree for a minute and then I woke up. Run the
But
gears with me, and I have no recollection of falling asleep.
but the thing that you failed to mention is how close we were to the Uinta Basin.
Oh yeah, by the way, we're super fucking close to the Ute reservation.
Well, the Ute Reservation and the Uinta Basin, where Skinwalker Ranch is
Uh,
located.
I ain't saying that. It's dark outside, bro. I am fucking not
Yeah,
saying that shit.
you live out in the middle of nowhere. I live on a mountain too. But pretty sure that's what came to visit me that last night that I was in the trailer, the night before you and Ryan left on your adventure.
Mm, yeah, probably. Because we did find a bunch of weird shit in the area.
Yeah, and bumps in the night
Yeah,
and no footprints.
none. So that was super weird. And of course, I'm like trying to call Ryan the whole time in the fucking walkie-talkie, and he's like, "Oh yeah." So I get back because I'm thinking he's like gone. So I go back to the side by side, and he's fucking literally laid out taking a fucking nap in the sun.
He was tired too.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, we went to bed early last night, but whatever. All right. So that's my first thing about Bigfoot. Now I'm just being cognizant of time. Do you think we have time to get into the current paranormal conspiracy out there?
I think we have time. I think we have plenty of time.
Okay. Just being cognizant of time here, real quick. So, giants. And by the way, if you're listening to this and we disappear, we do not want to unalive ourselves.
So my number two. So I'm taking the pin out of it. Okay. My number two was Nephilim.
Fucking perfect, dude. Because like
Giants.
my number two is Nephilim as well. It's weird. All right. So have you heard the story of Andrew Dawson?
So you told me a little bit about it, but the whole story I think I'm a little foggy on.
Okay.
I
So let
think
me.
I saw the video,
Okay.
but I didn't see the rest of the story that you were telling me.
All right. Here's the deal. So this guy named Andrew Dawson, he's on TikTok, right? He has so many posts about him and his family and his kids and just being a goofball and having fun, whatever. Nothing crazy. Nothing like I'm gonna go off the deep end kind of feel, right? Well, he's driving down the road with his buddy, and he's filming this. He's just filming scenery, and he sees the side of this glacier, basically, and he's in Jasper National Park up in Alberta. So he sees this, and there's a figure that looks like a human walking on the top of the mountain, but he's miles and miles and miles away. So this thing had to be like huge. Okay. Crazy huge. So he goes on, and all of a sudden his TikTok changes from him and filming his kids and joking around with like no views, nothing else, like just having a good time, being TikToky, whatever, dance moves, whatever, right? And then all of a sudden he's like, "Hey guys, I need help because I'm going to go back and find this." So he goes back the next day. That figure is no longer there. So here's the weird thing. So pause on the story.
Okay.
Giants are referenced in every single culture. If you are Christian, they're referenced as Nephilim inside of the Bible, and they also are referenced as a end of days kind of entity.
Well, they're mentioning like the Book of Enoch a
Yeah,
ton, and
a
that
ton.
book never made it into the Bible. So there's a
Well,
lot of people that think that it got taken out because of what it was.
right. Well, and then on top of that, right? So if you go back to older beliefs, super old beliefs, let's talk about the Norse belief, which I follow. So the Jotunheim. So they're real. And in that, Thor battles them. Loki fucking tricks them. It's a constant theme. You go to the Egyptians, all of the gods were giants. You go to the Etruscans, giants there. You go to Native Americans and their beliefs, right? And there's giants there as well, right? There's a belief system out there that maybe that a giant and a human made Bigfoot, but there's also the belief that fallen angels mated with humans and they became giants as well. A lot of weird stories, but they're all documented throughout humanity. Now,
Right, the
again,
offspring.
yeah. Now, again, there's not one part of me that wants to unalive myself, and this is just the current conspiracy
Yeah,
theory
but
that's out there.
you still have the giant of Kandahar too.
Oh no! So hold
Have you
on.
not heard about the giant of Kandahar?
No, but I want to. I gotta finish this.
What?
I gotta finish the story real quick.
Okay, all
Okay,
right.
I'm gonna make it
We're
quick.
pinning it.
So, pinning it. So, here's the thing. So this guy, Andrew Dawson, goes on, and he keeps trying to go back. Next, a few days after his initial filming, he goes back, and there are two sea stallions, CH-47s, that are in the area. Now, granted, he's in Alberta, so I don't know. They couldn't have. They probably aren't CH-47s, but I'm going to
America's
call them
hat?
that.
America's
Yeah,
hat? They probably are. It's
maybe,
America's
probably.
hat. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, they're not making helicopters.
No, no, they're just making maple syrup and hockey.
Yeah. And
Sometimes baseball.
socialized healthcare.
Um, so he goes back, right? Well, then he's like, "Fuck it, man, this is crazy. There's some weird shit happening." He tries to drive up a road that would potentially take him to a trailhead that he could walk up that mountain. There is a Secret Service agent of some kind that says, "Sorry, the forest is closed." And he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He's like, "There's an environmental issue happening." Okay, whatever. He doesn't film it. Comes back the next day, and there's a dude sitting there in a fucking black Suburban, sitting across the road, and turns him around.
Hmm.
Then all of a sudden he gets on TikTok and he says, "Hey, by the way, everything I was filming was fake."
Huh.
Okay. This is right after he says, I think that like the Secret Service, the CIA, or whatever they are following me. Now, here's the thing. There are things that you can poke holes in this with, right? Like he's in Canada. He knows that they don't have a CIA, right? However, he, whatever the case may be, he films going up and this guy turns him around and he videos the car, the Suburban. Then he drives home. He wakes up and he films the same fucking Suburban parked in front of his house. Then he pops back on TikTok and says, "This is my last video I think that I'm going to ever make because I think they're going to kill me. Everything that I posted, everything that I said is true." 2 days later, dead. No explained cause. Obituary, dead. Wife and kids disappeared.
So they like suicided him.
That's the thing, right? So there's a lot of things you can poke holes in it, right? So like the government has the ability to take things down and hide them. Now, if you don't believe that, then you obviously don't know the governments that we know that we worked for, right? The truth is this guy probably saw some shit and probably exaggerated it, but now he's really dead. Like really, really dead. It's like, look it up. He's dead. Okay. Now, throw an alley-oop. I want to see the slam dunk on the Kandahar Giant.
So I can't believe you haven't heard of the Kandahar Giant. So, first of all, Kandahar, Iraq. I mean, you could go, Afghanistan. You could go on a million YouTube channels, right, and hear the whole story. But just the quick and dirty of it was they lost communications with a platoon, so they sent another platoon after him to go figure out what the fuck happened, why they lost contact. And where they got close to a cave, they started smelling shit. Like it was just terrible, like just rancid ass death.
Not like
And
Afghanistan terrible, worse.
Like worse. We're not
Okay.
talking like camel tacos and dead dogs. We're talking like the way it's described in a bunch of the videos, just like it was like 100 years of death all at once. And they get closer, it just gets worse and worse. And they start finding like radios and just random shit from the unit that went up there before them. And then they go into the cave because there's like just a trail of stuff all the way into the damn cave. They go into the cave, and this giant comes out, and he's like 15 feet tall, at 6 fingers, 6 toes, smells like shit, red hair, speaking like some crazy ass language, crazy blue eyes, and hucks a spear just through one of them, because it's a group of special operators basically. Spears one, dead. And basically, to kind of paraphrase and wrap it up, they unloaded everything they had. Whether it was 249, all the M4s, throwing grenades, everything, to take this thing down. Finally, they took it down, radioed it in, and the people in the rear acted like they knew that it was there. And they sent in the Sea Stallions and stuff like that, the heavy lifts, got this thing. They had to send in a helo just for that. It was so big. They netted it and took it back to the base. And then the rest of them grabbed the casualties, and over this time they found body parts and all kinds of,
Fucked up
pieces of the unit that went in before them. Took everything, tagged it, bagged it, got on the helo, flew back to the base, and then the non-disclosures and everything else started happening. But so many people saw it on the base when it happened, because it was shortly thereafter we went into Afghanistan. So many people saw it on the base that there was a whole bunch of people that were coming forward to say, yeah, no, this happened. Like, we saw this damn thing flying through the air on this helo.
Now I have to watch this.
Oh, dude, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
And there's so many YouTube videos out there of different people that claim that they were in one of these units that was there. And then there's probably 5 follow-on units that came on after this was, way after this had already happened, that people were saying, you remember the phrase aim high?
Yeah.
That was where that's where one of the reasons why they started saying that shit is because of that story. That was kind of like one of the weird correlations to this story. And it was all these units that came after people that would get to this certain camp, and the saying was like aim high, because you never know whether there was another giant at Kandahar.
Wow, that's fucking wild, dude. So, I think it's an interesting spot, because a lot of people will challenge a lot of what we say and do, right? I think a lot of the people there are skeptics, and I am a skeptic about a lot of things. And I think that you have to be in a situation where, if you are an experienced outdoorsman or a military member that's deployed and you've been around the world, it's easier to accept things because you've seen shit.
Really weird shit.
Really weird shit, right? When you're stuck in, Washington State, and you never experience a Bigfoot thing, but everybody else has, you kind of feel like, nah, man, that's fucking dumb, right? Or you're in a Victorian house that's supposedly haunted, and the fucking things never come out and bug you.
Well, and I've read a story about Bridgeport, and about how they captured a Squatch,
Oh yeah.
Just because Marines kept going missing on these hikes during winter and summer packages, ended up 30 miles away with no memory, not knowing how the hell they got there, and being kind of scuttled off, and not really being able to tell them anything because they didn't know.
Right.
And it ended their military career, and then they sent in a off the books like paramilitary unit to take care of it, because
the Squatch in black.
Dude, that's what it was. And like the story, the conclusion of the story was that it was a rabid squatch. So it was just a squatch that straight up lost his mind.
Dude, it's wild to think, right? And so everybody's listening, this is what happens when you hang out with us sometimes.
Oh,
We nerd
dude,
out about dumb shit.
It gets weird.
Fucking super deep. And if you're hanging out with your friends and all you're talking about is like the color of some girl's skirt or whatever, more power to you. It doesn't matter.
Or video games, yeah, do your thing.
I don't give a fucking do it. Like ain't nobody gonna yuck your yum unless you're a pedophile, and then I'll put your feet first into a
fuck you.
chipper. Fuck you. But like the thing is, right? So in all of these things, and this is the current conspiracy, because this literally just happened.
Like, right, I saw the video. I didn't know the guy was dead. I just saw the video.
Yeah, dude, there's a fucking obituary and everything. I know you don't have the talk.
But I saw the video last week, I think.
I'll send it to you. It's fucking wild.
Yeah, Giant of Kandahar. I'm sending to you.
Okay, cool. All right.
There's lots, like, if you look at it right now, there's like 6.2 million views on one of them, and like 19,000, 43,000, like, people legit talking about this shit. There's even like the crazy, well, not crazy, but like the like you're healed type Christian people talking about this, like evangelicals, like talking about this story and other stories that correlate with it. It's freaking nuts.
That is nuts. So this actually happened in April of 2022. And so like there's 615,000 views and 94,000 views for this guy. It's really sad to think, right? Like you're exposing something that's been here forever. And if you go back to time, right, there's a whole bunch of other things that are really there that is kind of wild. And I think this is going to be this is really just us being us, right? So we have the rock star kind of feel for the things that we do. For instance, Al loves cars, and I love being a falconer, and I love hunting and fishing. Al loves hunting and fishing as well. And like we do the man things, but we're also nerds in the aspect that we don't trust a damn thing that anybody says from the
not government. A thing. No, not a thing.
Damn thing.
I mean, the Smithsonian's got busted already hiding giants, right?
Yeah, like it's a real thing. And
there's articles, there's like peer-reviewed journals.
There was actually a so this was so you know how like you can look in live on like any traffic camera, like you can look and see what the traffic, right? Yeah. So there was a traffic camera that was in Washington that went just like 4 weeks ago that actually had a live look in for this when they had the snowstorm that just barely hit, and there's a fucking squatch that walks across the road
just chilling.
Just fucking walks across, and he's like he clears the road in 2 steps, the whole fucking road in 2 steps, and he goes up this fucking hill, and he's just going.
He's back on the block, man.
He's just fucking bebopping.
He's just squatching.
Yeah, bro. He's literally listening to Boys in the Hood, and he's fucking rocking down the road.
You know, the second I knew that I wasn't fucking crazy, when I was like, dude, Squatch is real.
No.
And it had nothing to do with Squatch. It was me and my boy Joe. We were fucking looking for a camping spot for Memorial. Oddly enough, at Current Creek.
Ah.
Okay? Never going back to that place. Ever.
I will.
Fuck that place. Not unless I'm like in a helo with Fleur. Anyway, so we're driving through looking for a camping spot, right? And you know the campground by the marina, it was closed, right? But we were like, screw it, let's just drive through, see what it's like. Never been there. And this is way back, like this is like 2011, 2012, something like that, maybe.
Okay.
And in Utah, it's legal to shoot coyotes.
Always.
And there's nobody. Everywhere. there's nobody there, right? There's nobody in this campground. It's wide open. And we see what we thought was a coyote, and I just step on it, dude. Because I'm driving. I just gun it.
You're in Black Betty, right?
Oh, no, dude. I was in the blue Chev.
Oh, Mom
right?
Chev. Okay.
No, my Chev then, right?
Okay.
Now
Mom Chev.
Now Mom Chev, yeah. So I gun that thing, dude, and we fly up on it. And my buddy Joe is no shit. He's got his 45 pulled. He's halfway out the window, getting ready to lay this thing down. And we get up on it, and he slides back in. He's like, dude, that's not a coyote. And I'm focusing forward, right? And this thing kind of comes down this little gully that's off to the side of the road and goes to walk back up the mountain. Full blown fucking wolf.
Oh yeah.
Gigantic fucking wolf. And Fish and Game is like, oh no, there's no wolves in Utah. There's no wolves. Wolves haven't made it to Utah. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking shitting me, dude. Gigantic. It wasn't just some small, like, a little bit bigger than a coyote. It was a fucking wolf, dude. And it was like gray and white. And we were like, what? And at that second, I was like, okay, dude, Squatch is real. Fuck you.
That's
you
what
guys,
it was.
you guys are
lying about.
You guys are
the
lying
wolves
about fucking wolves. I know you guys
Utah.
are lying about Squatch
yeah, absolutely. Too. No, yeah, I agree. So so we have all that experience. I have that experience in Kurt Creek myself, right? And I come home, and I had just barely heard about this shit, right? About that shit. So I'm like fucking just cruising through like the Discovery Channel, and all of a sudden, Survivor Man comes on.
Now, that was a good one,
dude. Well, he has a whole
series. It's like 8 episodes of it. Yeah.
No, it's seasons of it now.
Oh, really? Of like just the
because
finding
Les Stroud went out into the woods and experienced
weird shit.
And so I'm like, whatever, I'll just watch it, find a Squatch. Because like at the time I was like, now I'm peaked. Now I fucking know. Something was throwing.
Something was there.
Something's fucking knocking on the trees. Like Louisville Slugger fucking crack. Like
and this shit happened to me on a fucking road in Bridgeport, 2009. Yeah. I didn't read the story about the fucking Squatch going rabid until like 2015, 2016.
Yeah, you sent me the story, and it's on YouTube as well, right? So so I'm like sitting there, I'm like, okay, cool. So I watch the show, and now all of a sudden I start seeing these fucking like these trees that are bent fucking 7-8 feet up, and they're like 4 inches in diameter. There ain't no part of me that can bend a fucking tree 4 inches in diameter. And I'm not saying
on the hottest day.
No, man, like it doesn't even matter, bro. Like it could be dead, and I still wouldn't be able to break it. And I'm a pretty strong guy.
Trees are tough, dude.
Yeah, I'm not. I am no mountain of a man. I am a fucking sort of a dwarfish kind of guy. I'm only 5'10", 205, but like I could still fucking break some shit, And the thing is I started watching that, and I'm like, fuck, right? So then they go further, and they start talking about these fucking they call them tree structures. That's why I referenced it, right?
Oh yeah.
And they're the same fucking structures. Like there's no reason that multiple trees should be bent over the top of each other to form a dome against a mudslide.
Oh yeah, and there was that other one too that was it like hunting Sasquatch or something like that?
Well, there was
they did on like this science. Well, they did on the Science Channel or something like that, or Discovery. And it wasn't like the BFRO guys. It was like these 3 people. One dude was like prior military. One lady was she was not an anthropologist, but she studied primatologist. Yeah. And then the other guy just was like kind of a Bigfoot hunter. And they found all kinds of crazy shit in the Sierra Nevadas. And they went to Washington and found weird shit there too. I'm like, dude, it's real. It's real.
Well, so this is my final step to getting to the point that Sasquatch is real. Jane Goodall. And if you don't know who Jane Goodall is, you're...
Read a fucking book.
Maybe something. I don't know.
Or go to the library. Go to the library and check out a DVD.
Just YouTube it. Just fucking Google it. Don't even go anywhere. Just
No, I want them to have the experience that we had when we were kids.
Yeah, the Dewey Decimal System, right? No, Jane Goodall, Gorillas in the Mist, leading primatologist in the world, is asked point blank, could Sasquatch exist? She says it's plausible. Legit, without blinking. It's plausible. She's like, do you know where we found the gorillas when we found them? That we've been looking for 5 years? Living in the bush 5 years, off grid, away from everybody. Do you know where we found them? They're like, she was like 600 yards away from our camp. We never heard them. 600 yards. Now I'm probably off on that, but it was like some minute fucking number. It wasn't just miles into the dish. It was literally, we're in the Congo, and they're literally right there. They're our neighbors, and we never heard them.
That is one place I never want to go.
Now, there's lots of places. Anywhere the jungle is, I'm fucking out.
Yeah, no, the jungle. Like I'll give it. I'll give it to those Vietnam guys.
Yeah.
Fuck the jungle.
The jungle. Every part of me.
100,000%.
Yeah, man. Spiders that talk to each other.
Yeah.
Fucking. Nope.
No. That whole place is fucking vibrating with bullshit.
I did
machine gunner's course in the fucking jungle.
Oh, dude, I was selected to go to Jungle Warfare Training Center in fucking Okinawa.
JWTC.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Guess what I didn't make it to? After we did a MIC-MAP training, we fucking fought in the jungle. I never made it through it. I did get to suck an eyeball out of a fucking rabbit, though. That was cool.
Tomato. Yeah.
I mean, whatever. It was fucking... That. No, man. Every part of the jungle, fuck off. No, yeah. But, like, you sit here and you think about what if Jane Goodall says it's plausible. Now, she did say she believes at one time for sure they existed, because on every single continent, there is, in every single like culture that writes on walls, hieroglyphics, right? There's like
a short squatty thing.
There's always the humans, right? Hunting some sort of animal, and there's always a hairy, big, giant dude. Or two or three.
What's that? There's that new show on Netflix. It's like called Ancient Discoveries or something like that.
Oh yeah. It's Ancient Apocalypse.
Ancient Apocalypse.
Dude, that dude is
that sucked me in hardcore.
We binge watched it the whole time in like 2 days.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. It took us like 2 or 3 days. And people that are like the science community that are going against that just because it's different than what they think.
Super annoying.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I think this guy's fucking onto something. And Randall Carlson, he has his own podcast. I think he's been on like Rogan. He's been on Rogan I think 2 or 3 times, and then he started his own.
Right.
And that dude is like a national treasure. He is just spot on with just knowledge, dude. His recall is insane. If you like, you have to be in the right place to listen to his podcast, because you are getting all the information overload, and he's giving it to you like encyclopedia status. But he's so damn smart, and the way he connects everything is just like.
It's really weird because we're just laymen, right? We're not like I'm not. Yeah. I wanted
full
to
on
be
crayon eaters.
Yeah, man. Like when I was a kid, I wanted to grow up and be an archaeologist because I wanted to learn the shit. And then I found out that archaeologists make fucking dick.
Oh.
And then I was like, and my dad was like, "Do you really want to be poor?" And I was like, "No."
Like art history major poor or like archaeologist poor?
Like yeah, like archaeologists were like, "Hey, by the way, the funding that we had allowed us to stay for another 6 weeks to find another fucking tooth somewhere.
But we don't have any toilet paper."
Yeah, exactly. Like that, as much as that sounds exciting to some people, I was like, nah, man, I like camping to camp. I don't like to camp to fucking live, right? And so it was a very interesting time in my life, but at the same time, I look at these guys and I'm like these super smart people, and I'm like, man, can I just want to ask you like 5 questions.
Oh, dude, and I love history too.
Yeah.
And like just to like sit down and have a chat with somebody like that, or be in the room and just sit there with your mouth open while you're drooling.
Just
be awesome.
sit there like, right?
Holy shit. Yeah. And he was showing about how in that show, he was talking about how those ice dams open, they melted and then froze and then melted and froze, melted and froze up in Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
And it created that flow. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. So he's saying like that happened really quick. And in one of his podcasts, he's talking about the same type of thing that happened in Texas. And it happened in like 2 days in one of his podcasts. And then he went into talking about like Lake Bonneville here in Utah.
Oh yeah, well I mean, Lake Bonneville wasn't really. It was like the entire West.
It was an inland sea basically.
Right.
But
right.
he went into talking about that whole thing, and he wrapped it all in and gave a correlation with what happened in Texas basically, and it was like 3 or 4 days of super heavy rain, and how it eroded all kinds of stuff just almost instantaneous. And then he was on that show talking about that, and I was like, holy shit, it happens like big time too, with
dude.
ice dams and shit.
It's so weird, right? So we talk about like, what do you believe and what don't you believe, and like how do you get there, right? And I have a hard time with anything that's published by Netflix or it's published by the Discovery Channel. Like back in the day, dude, Discovery Channel was like, here's a plant and here's photosynthesis and this is why it's fucking super cool.
Right. And here's the lizard stalking its bugs.
Right. And like it was really, really cool. But nowadays it's like Discovery Channel is now the newest version of MTV, right? It's no longer about Discovery. It's about fucking these crazy fucking fake things. Like how many times do you think ever in the history of man that people would whoop to a fucking Sasquatch? It's really an interesting thought, right?
Bro, have you never done a Squatch call?
Man, no, I have, just joking around with my friends in the woods and nothing ever happened. Right? It's fucking
same buddy that I found the wolf with.
Right.
We were up in the Uintas, and like he totally had the best Squatch call ever. Laid out the Squatch call, and we know shit heard something back. And we're like, bro, I hope that's somebody else that's camping that we didn't see.
Fair. So it's really weird for me because like I take things in a very kind of very, very like not granular way, but a very, very real moment, like be in the moment way. And I think that's actually kind of driven me in my character arc, kind of circling, coming full circle. But when we talk about like things like Squatch and giants and we talk about the paranormal, like there's some shit that I'm like super skeptical about. I'm like, and no. Not no. Right? Like just it doesn't align with anything that I've ever dealt with. And other people are so adamant about it, right?
And then it fucking happens to you and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, dude, like
and then you start reading shit and watching shows and you're like, oh fuck, dude, that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned one thing earlier that I won't mention because I'm in fucking Montana near reservations, right? I won't mention it at night. It won't happen. And I'm like, you sit here and you talk about those kind of things, but me and you, like, I mean, I've had a personal experience with one. You have as well in the aspect that you believe it, right? But I've literally had one right off the Paiute Reservation, a place called Cliff Lake. And I was like, that's fucking nuts. Nope.
Oh, yeah, no. I think it was.
I'm a fucking out on.
I think it was 1,000% a real thing, dude, because I was, it was like that trailer was way too big at that moment. Right?
Yeah, dude.
And there were sounds happening on the outside of that trailer that still to this day, and I've had this trailer for 5 years now, 4 years.
Yeah, Tro was with you, right?
No, he had left.
Oh fuck.
I was flying solo.
Oh, that was right. That's right, because he came up for a day or two with Tom,
and then had to go. Yeah, had to go. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm flying solo in a 43-foot fifth wheel, and it still has not made those types of sounds ever again.
By the way, that's why we call you the bougie one.
Oh, that little
well,
thing?
I mean that among others, but we'll just leave it at that. Yeah.
So, yeah, and then the shit that we found next to it in the woods the next day. Fuck all of that.
Well,
I was real fucking excited about pulling the fuck out of that place, and I am never excited about pulling out anything.
fair enough. So I guess long story long on all this, right? So Squatch is real. And if you don't
100%.
believe me, you haven't been spending enough time in the woods. That's real. In my mind.
No.
Like I don't give a fuck who you are. Like when you have Native Americans and you have historical beliefs across the world saying basically via their pictures, their pictographs.
Oh yeah. They have
these
the
are
pictures.
fucking
they talk about it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then you
Like
have
you have tribes all over the place talking about it.
it's not just like tribes in America or tribes in the Himalayas. It's tribes
It's all
in
over.
Americas, and it's tribes in South America, and it's tribes in fucking everywhere. And people are like, well, why can't we find them? I'm like, have you ever been in the woods?
I'm sorry, dude, but American Indians don't get enough credit.
Nah, man, they're fucking the Native
They're
Americans
fucking
never.
No, they are fucking straight up hardcore motherfuckers.
Yep, 100% of the time, every time.
Yep.
I have no doubt, by the way, no doubt. Like you go and anybody who wants to question it, go look it up. I don't care if you're a skeptic. I don't actually. I like skeptics when it comes to this because I'm like, so you have a logical explanation why rocks were being thrown at me?
Right. It was raining rocks.
Yeah, like they weren't like big, huge rocks. They were like I couldn't throw a rock that far. It was bigger than my hand. It's not like I have like fucking baby girl hands.
It would have fucking hurt if it hit you.
Yeah, it would have fucking killed me. Like there was fucking velocity on it.
Death by rock.
Just like it would
have been
really
stoned. You would have been stoned.
Death. Yeah, fuck that. Nah, man. Like and you look around the world.
It's biblical. It's biblical.
Yeah. You look around the world and you go to every culture and there's always a story of a hairy giant. Always.
Right, but I think it's all. I think the Squatch and the Nephilim are different.
No, absolutely, I agree with you. And the latest so 2 standing segments, and we can vote on this as a team. I mean, it's 50-50, but like I feel like it's whatever.
It'll be unanimous.
Yeah. So 2 standing segments. A paranormal segment. We'll start off with Squatch. Next week we'll come in. So time out real quick. Next week we're doing a VOC After Dark. That'll be a trip.
Yeah. You're gonna finally get some Ryan's rants. Maybe?
Possibly. Yeah. Hopefully. You probably get to meet Bo as well.
I bet somebody will get mad, and there's gonna be a lot of crosstalk.
Yeah. Sorry in advance.
Yeah. Bear with us.
Yeah, it's gonna be a first run, lots of crosstalk. It's gonna be annoying. I'll let you know.
It'll be fun though.
Yeah, it would be for us.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a great time.
I'm gonna get drunk with you.
I'm gonna have gin.
I'm not. I'm gonna have fucking whiskey next week just to fucking counter you.
That's rude. It's January.
Yeah, well, you better fucking have some gin and some fucking something. Anyway, so not next week because we're just gonna do VOC After Dark, which will be an introduction to Ryan.
No, it's not next week. It's this week.
No, it's gonna be like next week, like Tuesday next week. Because I get into town Friday night. Saturday we have the meetup. Sunday we're not doing anything. We could do something Sunday night. I don't care.
So we got to do it Sunday.
Fine, Sunday it is.
Sunday, because yeah.
And then Tuesday next week we'll be doing the standard. We'll do a follow-on installation of like where like the next giant conspiracy. So if you know of one, tag us because I would love to see it. Just send it.
Send it.
And then also a follow-on of Bigfoot, like another 2 or 3 stories maybe from our listeners about Bigfoot would be great. And then the following week we'll move into something new, which I have some great ideas. Well, we'll have to do it during the day though.
Fair enough.
I ain't fucking doing that when it's dark outside. It's gonna be like 2:30 in the afternoon getting drunk.
Sounds good. I can do that.
Okay. So if you're listening, just know those are coming up. Hopefully you guys are sharing this. This is a big thing that we want to try to do. We want to create a community. So please.
Right. Well, I never wanted to be the guy that's like, share,
Yeah,
click
but
on
now
the thing for notifications. But it's like we have to be.
yeah, fair enough, dude.
But
I
do we
fucking hate
have?
that shit.
I
Nah,
hate it.
but here's I'll be the guy. I'll
Okay.
take the fall.
Please.
Okay. Like, share, comment on all the videos that you can, please. Not for us, but we want to build a community where people are meeting up and we stop suicide.
Yeah. I think that's the most important part, right? I don't really care.
Yeah, man, I'll do this for fun. This is just us on a regular day.
Yeah. No, this is us. We get to do this as part of our job, right? So this is work. This is work.
Did you see this, by the way?
I did. I've been jealous of that for a long time.
If you're watching, well, if you're listening to, so this is.
We'll just shake it up for the listeners,
So this is a 1 gallon jug of mead that I made. This is 1 year old. It is Surtur. I've been sipping on this for a minute because I'm not a fucking alcoholic. I'm just a drunk. I don't go to meetings. Not even really a drunk. That's a joke. By the way, if you do have an alcohol problem, please don't drink. Please don't.
No. Get some help.
Yeah, for real. So this is mixed berry and peppercorn mead, and it's 15.5%.
Oh, I didn't tell you.
No, you didn't.
In my search for
Nephilim
gin.
Oh.
I happened upon 2 bottles of mead that, let's see.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Terrible.
Yeah, good.
2 bottles of mead that were so old that they still had the top wine bottle shrink wrap on them, like the hair dryer shrink wrap.
Oh yeah, those were like OG.
One of them is orange.
Okay.
I can't even tell what the other flavor is. It doesn't have anything on it. But we need to open them.
Well, you do know that we have a 1-year-old Utagli.
Yes. Ryan has the 1-year-old Utagli.
And it's coming to the meetup.
And I have...
Well, not the meetup with everybody. It's coming to our marketing meetup.
Our
business meetup.
Our meetings. Yeah, no, I have a 2-year-old OG. So, but these other ones...
We're not opening that till grand opening.
No, the OG can't even be opened until like 1 million sold.
Fair enough.
But these other 2, they were in like the old like bottles that you found in the back of that bus, and you like cleaned them out and put meat in them.
Oh yeah, this is fucking bad. This is hooch.
Yeah, no, it's full on. It's gonna be like mead lightning.
Oh, I hope it's not. I hope it's not the ones that I filtered.
I'm pretty sure they're filtered.
Oh god.
But they're in the dark bottles.
Fucking what?
Yes.
They're in dark bottles.
It's a discovery. I was a booze archaeologist.
Fair enough. That's fucking comedy. So, all right. Let's just do a real quick recap of today, and then I think it's probably time.
Is it time?
It's time. All right. So, remember, like you're the steward of your own saga, right? If you think that you're the hero of your own saga, you're probably not doing it right. Fair enough.
I think so.
I think somebody else has to declare you the hero. You can't declare yourself the hero.
No, yeah, I think you end up being the hero of somebody else's saga, right?
Fair enough. Yeah, like you're maybe not the hero of somebody else's, but you're definitely an influencer.
I mean, at some point you've stepped in, hopefully, to make somebody else's life better.
Yeah, and that's the point of this podcast is to
enrich a relationship.
Yeah, it's bringing people together. It's the whole point of the company that we started together. And it's really just bringing people together and doing things, right? This is literally, so take away all the technology. This is a fucking conversation that we would have around a campfire or at each other's house. It's happened many fucking times.
So many times.
We just don't have up-to-date current events when we're doing those because they were all older. Now we're actually focused on that stuff. It's really cool. It's that
right. We have to like pay attention and read.
Focus. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard.
Yeah, it's tough.
So why don't you guys tell us about
How do
your
you guys meet up? How do
yeah
you guys meet up?
yeah tell us. Like I want to fucking know. Like I'm super curious. There's on an average basis each week there's 40 of you ranging from Havre, Montana to Salt Lake City all the way to the UK and the Russian Federation, which is weird. If you're the person listening in Russia, I just want to know, is things okay?
Dude,
You all
holler
right
at
over
us.
there?
Yeah,
Yeah, just
let
like
us know.
I don't give a
How's
fuck
the
if you're
vodka?
Russian. Like,
Yeah.
no, that's a different story for a different day. I have great
Oh,
stories on
okay.
that, right? I have great stories on Russian vodka. Um, different level drunk. Anyway, I digress. And if you're in Latvia, or also hit us up. Like, if y'all are sitting there in a fighting hole and you're listening to us, I hope that you're smiling. And
Yeah.
if you're in, I mean, Cyprus and you're listening to us because there's somebody in Cyprus listening to us, hey,
I think
thanks
it's
for
pretty
listening.
dope.
Fucking
Yeah.
awesome. Like,
Yeah.
just and
We're
if you
calling you out.
if you're,
Write a comment.
yeah, fucking tell us. Like, I want to know. We want to know. We want to know what you do for a meetup. I would love to just tag us on the TikToks or the Instagrams. Like, he's the Jarl at BVMC, and I am the Bearded Viking Meat Company guy. Just tag the Bearded Viking Meat Company, and we'll share it out to the
We'll
world.
all see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to know what's going on because it's there's a pretty wide spread out there.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot all the time, but geographically, we're pretty damn diverse.
35 listeners a week on the podcast and 100 listeners a week on YouTube is pretty legit for a first month.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
I mean,
For a couple of rookies that barely, speak the language.
yeah, and more importantly, this is not about us. This is about building a community, and we want you to be part of the community. So fucking show us.
Yeah, show up for us so we can show up for you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So on top of that, still looking for a Jamu. We have one applicant. I don't know how serious the applicant is. We actually technically have two. We have your brother, right?
Right.
And by the way, there is no bias on this. So if you want to be a Jamie, just make sure that you don't have dial-up internet. Okay? Start there.
And that you have editing software and can be a sound engineer.
I'll just deal with one of these things and this and one of those fucking webcams. I'm down with that.
One of those webcams.
Yeah.
We gotta
and
get
then,
our shit together.
Man, we're there. Then I guess the next thing is we're talking about paranormal shit. What's your favorite paranormal shit? That's a question to the listeners.
Like, yeah, I want to know.
Like, I
what
want
kind
to know
of crazy
what's
shit? Like, have you been in the middle of fucking nowhere, Georgia? Have you been in the mountains of Appalachia?
Have you been on the border or in Mexico and seen the chupacabra? Like, tell me your story.
Yeah. Have you seen weird shit in Afghanistan? Or
Yes.
were you at Haditha?
I've been at Hadith.
Have you been at the dam?
I was pulling security at the dam.
Did it rumble?
All the time.
Do you know about the angels imprisoned under Haditha?
No, man, I'm not going down that path today. But we should totally go down that path. So
I feel like you're not going down that path because you know where that path leads.
No, I actually don't. I just fucking heard it was something.
Oh,
no, man. So, yeah, I am.
He's trying not to die.
I was on an OP, man. I was listening for shit, looking for shit. That's all I was looking. Bad guys, and I just thought it was my tummy. It's fine. We'll leave it there tonight.
It was the camel tacos.
Oh, it's something, man. All right, so let's do another shout out. I would love to do the shout out. So I want to shout out Hero Sports for everything they've done for me and for my friends, bringing people together. Racing for Tomorrow. If you're not following them and you're not following Hero Sports, you're wrong. Go do those things. If you are just a regular dude who doesn't have military experience, and you're not part of that, let us know of an organization that you're actively part of that brings people together in the community. We would love to hear about it because we would love to shout them out too. Again, also, I want to do a shout out to our sponsors. We didn't do a shout out during the intro. So I'd
Okay.
love to do a shout out. So start off with Boss Graphic Design. They've got great gear that they've come out for us. They've put together these shirts, our hats, our logos, all of our things. Reach out to Rudy there. He will put together a digital copy, and if you're old school and you want an analog picture, he'll get you an analog picture.
He will paint you like one of his French girls.
I'm gonna start calling him something else now. Perfect. Also, Rogue Industries, located in Lake Point, Utah. Reach out to Justin, because if you reach out to Alex, he's not going to respond.
Too busy doing Jarl things.
Yes. But for all of your